how does it feel to get your first NFL victory?
Feels great. No, it feels great. I had a lot of people hit me up last night after the game. Give me congratulations. First NFL win, stuff like that. The locker room was ecstatic for sure. I know there's some videos out there of us, celebrating in the locker room. You could definitely tell like it was like a weight lifted off, especially some of the guys that have been here. Especially dating back to last year. You could definitely tell it's like been a weight lifted off. These guys were so hard. From way back when, and to finally be able to get a W in the win column, feels good, and to be able to be a part of it, have a hand in it, on a Thursday night game, on a historic night from DJ.
Good blocking on the perimeter, and that opens it up for Tyler Scott.
The Chicago Bears are victorious, undefeated in October. Wait, that's right. No, whatever. We're undefeated in week 5. We won we're the only unbeaten team in week 5, and we're gonna celebrate that. And let's waste no time. Let's bring in Tyler Scott to talk about the game. I've wanted so long to be able to talk to you about a win. I've wanted this. I'll be honest with you. It's like I know I've told you I've coached my kids AYSO. I felt the same way with you. I wanted you to get that win. How does it feel to get your first NFL victory?
Yeah, no, it feels great. No, it feels great. I had a lot of people hit me up last night after the game, give me congratulations, first NFL win, stuff like that. The locker room was ecstatic for sure. I know there's some videos out there of us, celebrating in the locker room. You could definitely tell like it was like a weight lifted off, especially some of the guys that have been here, especially, dating back to last year. You could definitely tell it's like been a weight lifted off. These guys were so hard, from way back when, and to finally be able to get a W in the win column, feels good, and to be able to be a part of it, have a hand in it, on a Thursday night game, on a historic night from DJ. It was definitely something to remember for sure.
I want to touch on a number of things that you talked about, but what you said, I got to go into this. I was saving this. But when you use the way that you just use that phrase, I had a hand in it. I think your best play was the Scott push. You were there. The most controversial play in the NFL. And there you are. Like, yep. I listen, I feel like you have like your two hands. You're in on that. What is it like to be a part of that play? I know like it's very controversial because the Philadelphia Eagles have done a great job with it. We obviously got the first down. What is it? How much preparation goes into that play? Because it's not as simple as a lot of teams make it look.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, like it may not be as simple as it looks.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, I think it's a willpower thing. It's just who wants it more. You got to, everyone knows what's coming. You're lining up. You need 1 yard. Defense knows, offense knows what's about to happen, and it's at the end of the day who wants it more. You know what I'm saying? Who's gonna fight? For that extra yard. And when the ball was hiked, I'm pushing Justin, and all you hear in the huddle is just a whole bunch of just like grunting for the best term I can just use. You just hear guys just straining. You can hear guys pushing back and forth. Just literally, you just hear a whole bunch of guys just pushing. And so, it was definitely, I remember like I was pushing, and I think we stopped for a second. I felt like an extra, like momentum push at like the very end. And I think at that point I kind of was like, okay, I think we got it. I felt some sense of just some sense of pride. I was like, yeah, no, I was in on that right there. And
you're a part of it, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I was a part of that. I was in on that, and I think I was. I was almost about to run off the sideline, and they were kind of going, hurry up. And I'm like, yeah. And they called the play, and I'm like, oh, it's kind of like a hurry up deal. I was like, oh, snap. And so on this play, I was like, oh, I know where I'm at. Like, I know where my alignment was and stuff. And I think the KB was where I was supposed to be in the play.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and I was like, and I remember, I think DJ was like, KB over here. And I told KB, I'm like, move, and I was like, hey, you over there. Where's my spot? And so, I got behind him and then ended up, ultimately pushing him. Even though KB might have been, a better prospect for that position, but just as it was drawn up, I was like, yeah, I was in on that one. So
No, you're like the perfect guy. I know everybody thinks players like Kari Blasingame and all like that are the no. You like this, you like the guys who are a little smaller who got the legs that can just drive it. That's like when you're in the fraternity tug of war team. We always liked having those light guys because we could put 8 guys as opposed to Sigma Pi would have 6, and we would just pull them. You got a bunch of little guys like us, and we would but we're small but mighty. But I was excited.
Yeah.
And again, not to be the little league dad or the AYSO dad, but I'm like, there's our guy. And but it's a big moment in the game. We needed that first down, and we needed a lot of things to get going. I gotta say, like it was disappointing on Sunday, obviously, with the way everything went down. I mean, you have the good parts of like the offense looked amazing on Sunday against the Denver Broncos. There was a lot of good things happening. Like we're scoring a lot of points. Okay, that's good. And it sucks to lose. How were you guys able to turn the page so quickly? Because you drove right down the field and scored and looked so impressive right from the get-go. How were you able to put that behind you?
Yeah, I mean, especially coming I mean, that one hurt, being honest, like, especially in the locker room. That one, you could tell we were really feeling that one. That one just hit differently. Because we had it, Justin played such a great game. I feel like we were playing, good complementary football in all phases. Kickoff team did a great job. Down in, I think the guy he muffed a kickoff return, ended up getting the ball, I think on the 1 yard line area. Played complimentary football, 4 and out, got the ball back within the 50, scored a touchdown. Justin obviously played great. The defense was playing great. So, I mean, it was just, we were clicking on all cylinders, playing great complimentary football throughout the game. And, I think we were up 28-7 at half. And then to come back in the second half and to lose it, at the very end, and not to be able to finish, which, we talk about finishing all the time and just the way we practice. We like to finish, and that's something that Coach Flus always puts on us is, when we're looking at practice film, we're looking at obviously assignments, details, things of that nature, execution. But, we're looking at seeing, what guys can finish. And so that's something I feel like we prided ourselves on, and we weren't able to do that. We weren't able to finish the game. And so, that one definitely hurt. And so coming into the next game and having a short, turnaround, coming in, knowing we have a Thursday night game, coming in, we had to flip the switch because we had a short week. We couldn't keep dwelling on it, and we had to take it and learn from it, which I think we did. And so we had to flip the switch, shift our mindset to Washington, take the good from it, learn from the bad, and carry that momentum, because I think offense definitely had momentum, going into the Washington game. We felt like we maybe found something, that, we kind of started to click on. And so we had to take that momentum that we felt like we found and to take it into the next week. And so I think we did that, going into the game. Like I said, we started off hot. As obviously with the scoreboard, the defense, biggest thing is that we kind of lacked this season was turnovers. And the biggest thing that Coach Flus would always talk about is plus two, in the turnover battle. And so we ended up reaching that. And so that was huge, defensively. And so I think that was also another, big reason on, helping us finish the game, which is what we didn't do the previous year or the previous game.
Yeah. Well, actually, that's been one of the criticisms that people have, I'll say that I've had it, is that what Coach Eberflus is talking about is finishing games, and that we just haven't been able to see it. And that's how small the margin of victory is in the NFL. Justin went out there and did that. And I'm sure it was a great moment of relief for him. But on the play, you're out on the field on that third touchdown to DJ Moore. It's 3rd and short. You're up. I mean, a lot of coaches might remain conservative, but not only did you call a pass play, but Justin threw a pass that needed to be perfect, and he absolutely did. What was it like when you heard the play call? It's 3rd and short, and you're like, "Oh, we're throwing the ball." Like, what is your mindset in that moment?
Yeah, well, coming out at halftime, it was we're going to attack. Coach Flus, it was like we are going to attack defensively and offensively. We're going to attack. It was kind of this mindset of we're going to play to win and not play not to lose. You know what I'm saying? And so we just had this mindset of like, we're going to attack. We're going to attack. We're going to win this football game. And so, DJ and Justin had, such a great connection the whole night. Coming out, I want to say that drive, they came over to us in the sideline and mentioned like, hey, if they're going to give us an all out cover zero look, we're gonna take a chance on the outside. We're gonna see our matchups. We like our matchups. We're gonna take a chance on the outside. We're gonna give us like a cover zero look. Cornerbacks down, basically squatting. We're gonna take a chance. And so they gave us the look that we were looking for. And Justin, he trusted DJ, and he made it through. That had to, like you said, had to be perfect, and it was perfectly placed, and it was a well called ball. And DJ did the rest. So yeah.
It was interesting because this has been something that I've been calling for, because I remember other great quarterbacks always have these moments. I can even go back. I was a huge Troy Aikman fan growing up. I loved him at UCLA, and he came to, and even through his first couple of years, he never he was almost outplayed by Steve Berline, almost outplayed by Steve Walsh. And he had this game in Denver where it finally oh, there it is. There's the moment. And that's what it felt like for Justin. And it's funny because I put it out on Twitter. And of course, people just can't be happy for you on Twitter. Some guys like, oh, he got lucky. And then I roasted him and ended up ratioing him. I called him a boomer, even though he was probably younger than me. It was a great moment all the way around. I noticed you getting down the field to celebrate. What is it like? DJ Moore's taking all the targets and all the glory. Yeah. You don't seem to have a problem with it. You were racing down there, being a part of it. What's it like being out on the field when somebody's having a night like that? This is like NBA Jam. Like, you could almost visualize the flames around DJ Moore. What was it just like being out there?
Yeah. It's just, it's kind of just, I don't even know what the words to say. Because I know I had a game like that when I was, in college, this past year before I got drafted, versus Indiana. And I had a hat trick game. I had it in mind in the first half, and I kind of know what that feeling as a player. You get in that zone. He probably could have really had 4 touchdowns because they said he stepped out.
Oh, that's not.
I don't know. I was on the field for that one too.
He pulled the Sean Elliott. I know you're probably too young to remember, but Sean Elliott I think it was the 1999 playoffs. One of the playoff series that the Spurs won. Sean Elliott was on a thing where if his heel would have hit the ground, he would have been out of bounds, but he stayed on his toes, drained to 3. They beat Portland. That was the exact same play. Why are they blowing that dead instead of taking a look at it later?
Right. And so that's, I kind of had that same feeling of and DJ, he was hopping after the play, he was upset, for sure. But yeah, I'm just like, this dude, I can't, I was laughing, I was smiling. I remember, I think it was after the second touchdown. I wasn't on the field, but I think it was after the second touchdown where he called the end zone, and he toe tapped. And I remember just walking away, and I was going out for kickoff, and I was smiling, just shaking my head, just are you serious? It's just one of those deals. I think when you watch performances like that, it's dude, are you serious? Are you serious? And it's I've seen it, time and time again, especially in practice. I've seen those plays, made by DJ, but it's just one of those deals where it's wow, you have got to be kidding me. He did not. And then it seemed like every time he touched the ball, he was, getting, positive yards. And so it was just one of those nights. He was in the zone. And then to be on the field for that last one. He got into the end zone. He did a little I don't even know what that, a little a high step into the end zone.
Yeah.
Maybe tribute to Walter Payton or Dion. For sure, but got into the end zone, and at that point, I was thinking to myself, oh man, I might get some TV time, and so ran over, gave him a high five, and so it was a cool little moment though.
I love that for you because I've always been meaning to coach you on this about even if it's not you, if Cole Kmet or DJ Moore is doing well, make sure you're one of the first into the end zone to congratulate him, so you get on the highlights and you get your name out there. You know who is really. Matt Leinart was always really good about that. When the Cardinals went to the Super Bowl, somehow he was on the podium behind Kurt Warner, one of the most prominent. I'm oh, Matt Leinart knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
So he's got that really well. I do like that you mentioned that it was a Walter Payton type move too, because he's the one who was doing it. Obviously, you can't see it in this shot in our two shot here, but the Dick Butkus painting is always with us. There it is. So he's always been with us for the last couple of let's say the gifted. Oh, I guess I'm not supposed to tell everybody that the NFL gave it to me because whatever. But he's always here with us. I know that you have a great sense of the Bears history, and I think Matt Eberflus, one of the things that I've really appreciated about him was his ability to bring in the history to everything, whether it's the rivalry with the Packers or just the great players. Obviously, Dick Butkus, and it's kind of a shock. Like Dick Butkus was on the field a couple of weeks ago, and it was, even though he's 80 years old, it was shocking to hear of his passing. Did that mean, like, what did that mean something to the players? Like, I got to imagine, like, our team is the kind that embraces the heritage of this team. Was that a meaningful thing? And did you guys want to go out there and make sure that you won it with Mr. Butkus looking over us?
No, definitely for sure. I mean, we found out right before we went out for kickoff. I want to say is when we found out very shortly before we went out, and for me personally, it's definitely a shock to me. And just kind of like us, talking on the sideline. I think they did like I want to say did like a moment of silence during the national anthem, or right before the national anthem. Talked about Dick Butkus and kind of informing kind of the whole public of his passing. And so I remember just some of us talking about it on the sideline, just how shocking it was, and just talked about Dick Butkus and just kind of just had like a short little dialogue about him. So I definitely believe like he had some type of influence on us. I think DJ tweeted something after the game about
Yeah.
Dick Butkus as well. Yeah, so like it was definitely within our kind of just within our team spirit of so to speak of that. And so yeah, no, definitely as a team, definitely encouraged us for sure. Like I said, I know personally just the history of the game, and I know what he meant to the game of football. One of the things that immediately came to my mind was my dad, because that was one of the first people he's ever showed me football highlights of when I was, about 8 years old. All I seen, my dad showed me Dick Butkus highlights. He was like, "Listen, I'll show you this guy. He was my favorite player growing up. I wanted to be just like him. He was a ferocious linebacker." He said, "Whenever I stepped on the field, I wanted to be like Dick Butkus." And so I remember watching his highlights and, just watching how mean and how nasty he was, and, just the way he played. I'm like, man, this dude got like this chip on his shoulder. Like, so,
Yeah.
I just loved it, just the way he walked around. And I just remember, this clip of him like holding his hand. Because I've watched like countless documentaries of, on NFL Network, and I've looked up Dick Butkus on YouTube many times before, and I can always remember this one video of him. He's sitting on the sideline, and he's got his hand wrapped up, and you can see his knuckles all bloody, and it's like a cold game. He's got a jacket
Yeah.
on, and he's just kind of looking into the wind. You could just and they put the camera on his hands, and just seeing you can see the blood on his hands, see how his hands were all torn up, and then it goes into his face, and it was just like, man, this dude, just showing how tough he was. And he talked about he said, "I want to let everybody know that they've been hit. I want to know that when they get hit, they're not laying on the ground questioning, who got hit or who hit him." He said they know it was Dick. And so, he just had that toughness mentality, that old school mentality that, definitely playing today's game. He would not be able to get away with some of the stuff that he did. But no, I mean, I love, like I said, when I study history, I feel like you can't tell, the story of football without Dick Butkus, especially just the linebacker position. He was everything that it meant to be a linebacker for sure. And that's something like my dad, just kind of, showed me and instilled in me from a very young age.
Yeah, it's something that my dad also shared with me. One of his favorite players was Dick Butkus, being alive during that time. And even for me, I grew up knowing Dick Butkus as a guy who was on Miller Lite commercials. He was on the show Hang Time. Like, he was a pop culture phenomena, as well as being one of the greatest football players of all time. So I think that, when you look at people like, how rich somebody's life could be at age 80, that we're shocked that he's like, he just looked so good and so vibrant. And obviously he became this great Twitter personality. So it's bitter. It's difficult to sometimes when I've met him before, so I had some connection, but still, like, it was one that kind of stuck with you. And I'm glad that the Bears were able to come out. The Bears. I'm glad that you guys were able to come out and perform for him. And I can't tell you enough. Like, when DJ tweeted that and was talking about it like, oh, that means a lot. Like the guy who just scored 3 touchdowns goes out there and is also mindful of the history of the game. And it makes fans feel good, like the players are invested and connected. And so it's one of the things that we've enjoyed. So what I want to talk about a little bit before I let you go. The locker room after the game, you mentioned it. What was the song? What was your song choice? Like what is the music that's playing? Who gets to pick the song and what song was it? Can we say? Is it not allowed to be said? Are you gonna wait? Hold on, stop. Are you gonna get in trouble? Am I not supposed to know?
Honestly, I don't.
All right, plead the fifth. Plead the fifth. No, we'll move on. No, we'll plead the fifth. We'll plead the fifth because I heard people were outside the locker room and could hear it. I don't want you to be the guy that confirms it. That's not what we need. That's not what we need right now. But I will tell you, let's quickly just transition to Game Room Chicago, located at the historic Chicago Athletic Association Hotel, right across the Millennium Park. Features billiard, shuffleboard, skee ball, pop-a-shot, and more, and has plenty of space to watch your favorite game with a menu featuring Michelin-starred chef. Control yourself, Chef Mari Katsumura snack foods, beer towers, and a weekend Bloody Mary bar, as long as signature craft cocktails. Game Room Chicago is the place to be to watch Chicago Bear games. And since the Bears are not playing on Sunday and you want to go out and have a good time, go to the Game Room Chicago, hang out, watch all these other teams basking in the glow that your team had won. And we're happy now. So now, no matter what happens on Sunday, we're fine. We've already won. We've put that behind us. Don't want to put you on the spot. I don't want to call from Jeff either. Be like, what are you doing to my guy? I won't do that. I won't do it. Okay. Don't answer that. You anytime you need to plead the fifth. Be like, nope, we're not doing it. Let's talk about this coming slate of games though. And I don't want, now that we've won one, we're like, all right, we're going on a streak. But does it feel like the offense is clicking and you've got some pretty good opportunities, some very, I don't want to say winnable games, but I love the matchups against the Vikings, the Raiders, the Chargers. All 3 of these teams are very good playoff caliber teams, but I think the Bears, I think we match up with them. When do you start looking ahead to these upcoming games?
Yeah, so I mean, when you look at the schedule, you're looking at different things. You're looking at your bye weeks. You're looking at when your rivalry games are coming up. When are your primetime games? You're looking at a multitude of things. And one thing we notice is that in our schedule, when we have these mini bye weeks and things of that nature, we always have a divisional rival coming up off of that bye week. And so, looking ahead here, we have Minnesota up next after 10 days of rest. And so that's huge. That's huge. Because you had some guys banged up. And so that's important just, for getting guys back, getting guys healthy, back for this one. And obviously divisional games are, just that much more and mean that much more than some of the other ones. So, those games are, very important. So, I mean, the biggest thing I think going into the next game is just to try to continue that momentum. Because like I said, I feel like we kind of found some things that have worked. And, like I said, in a process of, developing your team. And this is kind of that time where you start to find different things that work, connections, plays, play styles, stuff like that. I feel like it's kind of, where you start to find those things. And I think we did that. And so I think just continuing to stay on that course, to stay that path, definitely a huge confidence booster, coming off a win like that. And like I said, hopefully we can continue that path and that run. But I want to say I think our confidence is super high. And I think even from the beginning, obviously we went 0-4, starting off the season. But I think yet we still remained confident in who we were, still remain confident that we can continue to be the team that we want to be. Despite the outside noise and what people were saying about us, we still continue to stay together. And I think that's the number one thing that we continue to talk about during this whole stretch, just all these ups and downs was we have to continue to stick together because if we don't, nothing good's going to come out of it. And so that's been the main thing, was just continue to stick together, through all this adversity that we're going through, and just keep chopping, you know what I'm saying? Just keep chopping with the axe. And, the tree was going to fall at some point. And so, Like I said, we just have this confidence going into the next game and even the next stretch of games. Where, like I always say, everything we want is still right in front of us. Like it truly is. Everything we want is still right in front of us, and we can go out and get it. Around a position where we have to look back and say, man, we could have did this, or we should have did this. Like we're in a position where we can say we can do this, or we get the opportunity to do this. And so I think we can continue to keep that mindset and just focus on one game at a time, one play at a time, and stay in the moment. Like I feel pretty confident with what we have moving forward.
Oh, I'm brimming with confidence. Even though the mood on our show on Wednesday was a little dour, I had some frustrations, but I still when it was time to make the picks, Rank was still there picking the Bears to beat the Washington Commanders. All the guys asking how I still had a job. All these Commander fans who have disappeared now. It's funny they fell off the face of the internet. Nobody's questioning my method anymore. I will say this. Now, I know that at some point we're going to ask Justin Jefferson for his jersey. I will tell you this. This will be the week that you get in with him. You can kind of just, hey, good to meet you. We don't ask right away. We'll wait for the second game to ask for the jersey. So this is where we get to know Justin. We'll find it. You know what we should do? We should find out. I'm going to go through his Twitter account and find out what he's into. And if he's into some band, like if he's into Blink 182 or something or whatever, we'll find a little in for you to kind of be like, hey, like I see you like the Beastie Boys. I do too. Whatever. We'll work on that. Also in these upcoming slate of games, you're playing the LA Chargers, which play up the road from me. I have not acquired a ticket yet, but we can save that. We can save that for another time.
Okay.
Just throwing it out there. But I want to throw it out there. But listen, I didn't want to keep you too long. I know, Jeff. I'm going to get a note from Jeff. We went too long, but I didn't burn him. I want it for the record. I stopped him short from saying anything. I'm just so happy. Honestly, I'm so happy for you, and it's great to see that the work's paying off. And I think most of all the people, I'm ecstatic for Justin, because if anybody needed to get this victory and get that off, what was he like? Like, was he more like relieved? Was he ecstatic? Did you get a chance to talk to him, or do you kind of like leave him to do his own thing? What was he like? What was he like after the game?
Yeah. I didn't get a chance to talk to him personally after the game. But no, I think, Justin, he definitely was ecstatic, but I think he also has this like, what's the word I want to use?
Like a stoicism, like he's still calm and collected.
Yeah, he's definitely still calm and collected, but I think it's just like this confidence that he has of like, yeah, like this is supposed to happen, like this is what we like. Yes, like this isn't a shock to me, so to speak. He's been doing this type of deal, and so I think he's definitely had that type of mentality. Like I said, just this confidence about him that, like I said, he consistently carries. And so I think that's good for him, and I think it's great for the team. Like I said, that he has that, and to see it all come together, to see him make some of the throws that he makes, and even over the past 2 weeks, he's been playing, and he's been throwing the ball with such conviction. And that's the biggest thing. I remember talking to him in the weight room after the Denver game, and I was just talking to him about it, and I was like, man, you're just throwing the ball with such conviction now when you're throwing it, such confidence, and just looking the way he's looking safeties off, how he's using his head, to look guys off, and he knows where guys are going to be, and just the timing of all the different route combinations and things and timing up, and just kind of how he's just had command over the offense, and over the past 2 weeks, you could definitely tell like it's just jumping out on screen, and it's just showing in our play.
Yeah, I love to see it too. And I think that unless you're a hater or extremely obtuse, if you can't notice the growth that he's shown over the last couple of weeks and how much he's improved on all those little things, especially a lot of the nuance, then you're just not paying attention, and we don't have time for you. I'm hoping to have Chase Daniel in next week, and we're going to be breaking down a little bit of his film next, hopefully a week from today, to go through that stuff. So it'll be fun to do that. And this will be a fun weekend for you. I hope you go out there and enjoy it. I want to let you go because I really do appreciate it. I know that, big win, big. Listen, I know that this is the last thing you want. You didn't want to come hang out with Rank. You want to go out and celebrate. But listen,
I was looking forward to this.
So was I. I honestly, I could not have been more thrilled for you. I was running my mouth a little bit too much on Sunday when we were ahead. Although people were jinxing it. People were texting me, and I'm like, stop texting me. Let's wait till after the game, but we got it.
Right.
convincing victory on Thursday night, which I think it's really nothing beats winning in prime time the way that you guys did. So I want you to go out and enjoy it. Enjoy the weekend, and then we're back to work. So we will see you on Tuesday, and we'll start looking ahead to the Vikings. We'll start breaking it down. Is that a deal?
Yeah. Sounds good. We're gonna keep chopping.
All right, keep chopping. Tyler, I'm gonna let you go right now because I gotta do an underdog thing. So I don't want you to get in any trouble. I gotta make sure I'm looking. This is me looking out for you like a good quarterback does. But thank you so much for being here. We'll see you next week, and enjoy your weekend and bear down. All right, there he goes. The great Tyler Scott. Wonderful conversation. Good. So good to catch up with him. I hope that his manager, Jeff, doesn't get it. I kept him on too long. And you know what? Sometimes you just got to take the notes. You know, if somebody comes in and they'll leave you a note like, hey, this should be shorter. You're like, yeah, it should be. We just won a game. I'm going to do it. By the way, I want to get this out of the way, though, before I let everybody go. Underdog Fantasy is the easiest way to play fantasy sports. It's simple to get started. Just head to the underdogfantasy.com or download the app. Sign up using the promo code SICK, and Underdog will double your first deposit up to $100. It is one of the greatest deals. If you have not done that, I want you to take advantage of it right now. The reason being, we have a contest going. The Sick Podcast is putting out an Underdog Fantasy contest. We got it. The link is out there. Go to the Sick Podcast. Follow us on Twitter, the Sick Podcast with Adam Rank. Follow that Twitter handle. The link is there. You can go get signed up. I think we'll have a link in the description as well. Everybody sign up. It'll be fun. It'll be a good time. It's going to be, for me, anything that I get is going to charity. But go check that out. Be a part of the conversation. Have some fun playing some fantasy football. If you didn't start, Tyler, if you didn't start DJ Moore or Justin Fields this week, it's too late for that. But you can go set up another team for this week. So go check it out. That's underdogfantasy.com or the Underdog Fantasy app. Want to thank everybody for joining us. So nice to be chatting with you after a victory. It was a long time coming. We are here, and it is going to be something that is going to carry forward. So for Tyler, I'm Adam. We'll see you on Tuesday. And Sammy, go ahead and play us out. Oh, and bear down.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast with Adam Rank on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.